This 2008 stallion is Kit Kat Sugar. With only 1 full year of showing, he racked up over $240,000 in earnings and was the 2012 NCHA Open Horse of the Year. Trained and ridden by Pete Branch, Kit Kat Sugar, also known as Skeet, was a standout from the start.
From the first day as a 2-year-old, I remember the boys were out there kind of used him for a using horse. This was when he was really green, and they had a snaffle on him, and they were trying to keep the cows in the middle, and took off running around there on him. Well, every time they picked their hand up, I mean, this horse would smoke the ground. And I screamed, I said, quit stopping that horse so hard. I said, you know, he's just a baby, just a 2-year-old. They said, we're not stopping him. He does that on his own. I said, let me see that horse. And I got on him. Sure enough, he did. And I told him, I said, I hope y'all enjoyed riding him, because that's pretty much the end of it for y'all.
Pete knew he had a very special horse, and all he had to do was mold Skeet's natural ability into being a show horse.
As a 2-year-old, he was a really cowy horse. Always reminded me of a Dox Hickory on steroids is kind of what he reminded me of. He wanted to take control. And so it was early battles, you know, trying to get him to stay put and just wait. When that cow moved, he wanted to go. And it took a little bit through his 2-year-old year to get him. Once we got that going into his 3-year-old year, then it started clicking together, getting better and better and better. And I knew he was a great horse. I knew he was. It just a matter of getting it all put together. Come futurity time, I'd been to enough pre-works on him that I knew he was the real deal. And I had a lot of confidence in him.
Kit Kat Sugar was an open finalist at the 2011 NCHA Futurity, and in 2012 established himself as NCHA's top 4-year-old. He was a finalist at the NCHA Derby and reserve champion at the Super Stakes. He was the open champion at the Bonanza, Brazos Bash, Cattlemen's, Rancho, Wrangler, and Southern Derbies. And at the end of his 4-year-old year, Kit Kat Sugar closed his show career with over $240,000 in earnings and the title of 2012 NCHA Open Horse of the Year.
Thank you, Pete. That was Kit Kat Sugar, owned by Lonnie Barbarossa, shown by Pete Branch.
He was built low to the ground, and he stayed there. He never had to raise up to turn around. A fun horse to ride. I mean, it was really hard for me to retire him after his 4-year-old year, but I thought it was best. I wanted him to retire as a sound horse, and I didn't want to breed him and try to show him at the same time. And I think everybody that saw Kit Kat Sugar when I was showing him remembers him as a really good horse, and they didn't ever see him any other way. I knew as a 4-year-old winning horse of the year that he proved he was a cutting horse. It really wasn't, it had just been about my ego then if I kept showing him. It was about proving him as a breeding horse. And so that was the next thing in line, and that's what we wanted to get done was prove him as a breeding horse. So.
Kit Kat Sugar proved himself in the show pen and has now proven himself in the breeding barn. As of April 2022, his offspring have earned over $6.5 million, making him the 2021 NCHA number 6 leading cutting sire. Sugar Spies and Everything Nice was the 2019 NCHA Super Stakes Open Reserve Champion and has earnings of over $215,000 and climbing. X's and O's was the 2019 NCHA Open Super Stakes finalist and took 3rd at the Derby while laying down one of the most exciting runs the Will Rogers Coliseum has ever seen. D-Mac Dogfather is another exceptional individual. He was an NCHA Open Futurity finalist, top 10 at the Super Stakes, and won the Open Championship at the PCCHA Summer Derby. showing his versatility as a stallion. Kit Kat Sugar was also the sire of Scooter Cat, the NRCHA's 2018 Snafflebit Futurity Open Reserve Champion and National Stock Horse Association Open Futurity Champion. Scooter Cat went on to become the NRCHA Stakes and Derby Champion, on his way to earning nearly $265,000. Skeet's Offspring earnings will continue to climb.
He's got a great personality. He's a people horse. He loves people. One time, I think we were at the Brazos Bash, as a matter of fact. Kathy Dawn was telling me about this. She came walking by his stall. We were on the outside there, and she was walking by his stall, and she kept hearing somebody talking, and there wasn't anybody there. And so she walks over there to the stall, and Tori, my wife, is sitting down in the bottom of the stall and got Skeet's head laying in her lap. He's laying down, and his head is in her lap, and she's talking to him, petting him, and he's just laying there with his head in her lap. And this was right before the finals. So, I mean, he just was that way. He was just laid back, and nothing bothered him.
Kit Kat Sugar is by the cutting industry's leading sire, Highbrow Cat. And he's out of the smart little Ricochet daughter, Sugar and Dulce. Sugar and Dulce is out of one of the most elite mares in the cutting industry, the great Little Badger Dulce.
You know, Little Badger Dulce to me was probably the smartest horse that I ever rode. I know she was. And when Kit Kat Sugar came along, he had her smarts. He was every bit as smart as she was, only more athletic.
And that's quite a statement. Ridden in open competition by Pete and in the non-pro by owner Lonnie Alsop, Little Badger Dulce won over $668,000 in the early 90s, when the prize money was a fraction of what it is now. This is what instills confidence in a rider.
Yeah, I think it goes back to the same old thing that of his grandmother. I don't care what score they put up there. I didn't care, because I knew that mare was capable of beating anything that was put up on the board. Now, she didn't always do it, but I knew when I got to the herd that I was capable of doing it, you know, and he was a lot that same way. I mean, it just clicks, you know, when you know that you have that much confidence in your horse, things fit really good. You know, it just fits together, and that's the way that I was with him. I never felt like I was out of the cut.
Kit Kat Sugar is truly one of the cutting and cow horse industry's top upcoming sires. He proved himself in the show pen with over $240,000 in earnings by the end of his 4-year-old year, and then went on to become a leading sire with over $6.5 million in offspring earnings as of April 2022.